Car Series team owner Kevin Harvick gets his first win as a car owner. Well, sorta.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Todd Brown, That Racing Show. Thanks for dropping by for this pit stop segment. The Cars Tour making a lot of rumblings this week at Caraway Speedway. Some big names out there. Kyle Larson, Jeremy Mayfield, Layne Riggs getting the win for series and team owner Kevin Harvick. We're going to get more to that and the discrepancies that happened after the race here in a moment. But I first want to start out with talking about Jeremy Mayfield. Now, anybody who's followed my show knows I've done several episodes in the past here about Jeremy's resurgence and the winning that he's done this year in the Grand National Super Series. He actually just picked up his 5th win of the year a couple weeks ago and put this deal together to get in the Cars Tour Series. Apparently it come together kind of last minute. Jeremy actually worked on the car himself all week to get things prepared, but it wasn't the best of situations as far as the outcome. Loading up the car, the winch on the trailer broke. Not the greatest way to start out the race day there, but on the way to the racetrack, it continued with bad luck as they had a flat tire on the trailer. Unfortunately, after getting to the racetrack, they qualified last and fell out of the race early with some mechanical issues. And the cool thing about it is they still kept smiles on their face. They had a great time with it. Actually, Shayna Mayfield, Jeremy's wife, had this to say on her Facebook page. Crazy to think after qualifying dead last and falling out of the race early that there would even be a smile on my face, much less Mayfield's. You see, though, when you have been at the pinnacle of a sport that was literally your life in every way and then have it all taken from you, you learn to appreciate and cherish each and every opportunity you are given. Your perspective on everything in life changes. I am so incredibly proud of my husband's resilient spirit. And this is what I love about this story, because this is what racers do. They keep on racing, they keep having fun, and just keep living the dream, whether it be at the biggest level or the smallest level. It's great to hear these stories like this. Now, Jeremy obviously had a good time. He posted this on Twitter after the race, and I'm really hoping that he does come back. He's obviously going to have a better outcome, because you could not have any worse than what happened with him with this luck this week at Caraway. But hoping he does come back and is able to have a better race and a better time getting to the racetrack as well. Now let's get to the stories here. Kyle Larson, racing for Junior Motorsports, first time in the Cars Tour race, come home with an 8th place finish. Had Josh Berry up on top the box for him. Really cool to see Larson come home like this. After the race, Kyle said that this was less horsepower than what he's used to. He really doesn't like he's not really that familiar with the short track late model racing like this. Wasn't something that was really in his past that much. Obviously, he's a big-time dirt racer, so it's going to be interesting to see if he comes back and does this again. And hopefully this opens the door for more Cup drivers or Xfinity drivers, truck drivers to come in, maybe do some one-offs like this, because I think it'd be great for the series and great for the fans. And it's just great for these guys to get out there and race against competitors like this, if nothing else than just for the stories later on in life, because these are memories being made right now. Now, race winner Layne Riggs got the win for Harvick, and had some bad news after the race. They failed in technical inspection, had a over-tolerance of sway bar diameter, and last night at the races, they let it go right then. They didn't want to make any decisions in the moment. They said they would talk about it, and it brought up a lot of conversation today about what was going on here. Was this going to set a level of you could get by with stuff if you were a series owner or somebody like that, or if they were going to do something about it? And obviously tonight, they made a decision to take the win away, and I think it was a good choice, because if you didn't, then it opens up that door for people to say, well, they're getting away with things right here because they are the series owner, and they already have this unfair advantage because they got more money. And so I just think this was a great decision to do. Unfortunate for Layne Riggs, but I'm going to tell you right now, Layne Riggs is somebody you're going to be hearing a lot from in the future. So it's an unfortunate event that he had the win taken away, but many more wins to come for this young man. And here's a really cool story about this whole thing to me, because the Harvick and Riggs and Childers, there's such a circle here that came full circle at this race, because John Paul Linville, who is Harvick's father-in-law, helped Scott Riggs when he first got into late model racing. And when Scott got to NASCAR, he was paired with Rodney Childers as his crew chief early on. And, of course, then Rodney goes on to have so much success with Kevin Harvick. But here it comes that, Harvick's getting out and gets into this series, gets this car, and then Childers comes along and crew chiefs for Layne Riggs, Scott Riggs' son. And that is so neat right there. And the other full circle part about this is the guy that's on the other pit box crew chief in here is Josh Berry, who's taken over for Kevin Harvick. And it's just so neat that these guys all come together to have fun like this. And just to see all these stories that are just circling around here that all came together to make this a great event. Unfortunate again for Layne that it happened like this, but, great stories there and great to see so many racers come together like this, because this is really what happens in racing so many times. The people that you were involved with at one time, you might not be together for years, but then you get this pairing back, or in this case, your kids, things of that nature. But great stories all together. Now, I got one more episode I'm going to do this week about Chicago. If you've seen my last episode on Chicago, you saw that it was kind of spicy with some of the things I had to say with it and things like that. I got another one coming I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. And to everybody who has subscribed, much appreciation, because as you know, I love to talk racing. I love to get your comments. And that's one of the things right here, because there's so many people talking about this unfair advantage of Cup drivers and the money that they have buying into the series and being owners as well, fielding cars. I want your opinion. Do you think it's fair that as a Cars Tour owner of the series, you're also able to field cars? Do you think they get an unfair advantage because they have more money, more finance, and more backing and things like this? Or do you think it's just great? Great for the series, great for the drivers that are coming up. So I want your comments. I want to hear what you think about this and everything that you got to say about it. And again, Chicago episode coming up. Something it's got to do sort of with what I was talking about before. It's a little different story that I'm putting in with it, but something that's very interesting and I think people will pay attention to and like, hopefully. So anyways, hope everybody's having a great week out there. And as always, we'll see you at the checkered flag.